clothes, the food. Um, it was very intriguing to listen to. I'm hoping that at least one day I can have that point of. You said it's called. There's this traditional way to close to wearing similar to Indian clothes. I'm not so certain how you pronounce it. The ones that you show a picture of ladies wearing white. I'm not so. Is it silk or something? Anyway, it was very very nice. I think our next presenter is going to be Ngwe from Cameroon. Is she in the house?
It seems like she's not yet in the house, but still on Uganda. I was happy to learn that there is Mount Rwenzori because I am a mountain climbing fanatic. So that's one area I'm definitely going to visit. I hope it's not as high as Kilimanjaro. I hope it's reasonably high. And then thank you so much for the Wale Wale. I'm definitely going to be listening to it on YouTube. And it's so good that you have one person like that, you know, that as a nation we approve of Chameleon. In Zimbabwe, the nation is divided into two. We have two artists, and the moment you say the other one is bigger than the other, then there is war. So at least as Uganda, you are now united, and you say, you know what, Chameleon is the champion. And I loved the food, and it just gave me an appreciation of the diversity and uniqueness that we have as Africans. You know, I loved the uniqueness, you know, that banana leaf, the banana paper. It just shows that as Africans, different countries, there's so much diversity and uniqueness. And please correct me if I'm wrong, Achen. Um, Toya elinyala nye Tanya Njagala nye Uganda. Did I get that right?
Progress.
You tried so much. Yeah, that was so close.
Okay, I'll continue polishing my, you know, my language. But thank you so much. This was excellent. I loved the presentation, and I'm pretty sure all the people that are here would love to visit Uganda. And you know, you just helped us has you just helped us have a better appreciation of the culture and how things are done. Thank you so much. And the matoke and the grasshoppers, we are coming for them. So I'm going to start Ethiopia, and then Uganda is definitely on the list. Thank you so much, eh? Over to you, Madame Rovimbo.
Okay. I'm still waiting on Ngwe if she's able to present for Cameroon
Okay, I
so
think
that
we're
we.
in the room, but we have Madame Grace Comey in the house.
Okay.
So maybe Madame Grace, are you ready to present? Madame Grace Comey, are you ready to present?
Yes, I'm ready. Thank you very much.
Okay, over to you, Madame.
Yeah, Tanya, please, I sent you a, a
The
message.
presentation.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
okay.
should I try? Let me try from my end. If it doesn't work, then oh, then you project it for me.
Okay. You want me to present on my side? It's okay. I can do that. Let me just try. Just a minute. Let me try to share. Just a minute. Sorry, just a minute. Just a minute. Sorry, just a minute. Just a minute.
Or should I try from my end in case it doesn't work then?
Okay. You get if you're able
I
to
should
share your
try.
screen, yeah, you can try.
Okay. Yeah, okay. Let me try. Okay, but before that, hi everyone. I'm so happy to be part of this program and also to represent Ghana. I'm glad to represent Ghana. And I would, as our colleague from, I think it was Uganda, said, I'll also be always ready and glad to present at any occasion in case I'm invited. Okay, so as said earlier on, my name is Grace Comey. Let me try sharing the slide from here. Yeah, I've shared it, but I'm not sure whether you can see.
Yes, we can see.
Okay, I'm okay. Okay, okay. Actually, when I share it, I'm not seeing from here. That's why I was trying to let her share from her end. But if you can see, okay. Okay, so first of all, I'll talk about the Ghana flag. The Ghana flag has three colors: red, yellow, sometimes referred to as gold, and then green with a black star and yellow color. Actually, the red color represents the blood shed by our forefathers for independence for Ghana. The yellow color represents the rich minerals of Ghana. Yeah. So Ghana has a whole lot of wealth of minerals, gold, diamond, magazine, bauxite, almost all the minerals you can think of. The green represents the rich forests of Ghana. Have been engaged in some kind of illegal mining, which is being addressed. That's the challenge in terms of our forests. But apart from that, Ghana is richly really has a great vast land of forests. Then the black star at the middle of the yellow color is symbol of, Pan-Africanism. Yeah, and then the national 1957. So for me, I will sing it. I'll sing it, and I hope you can hear me. Okay, so it goes like this: God bless our homeland, Ghana, and make our nation great and strong, bold to defend forever the cause of freedom and of rights. Fill our hearts with true humility, make us cherish fearless honesty, and help us to resist oppressors with all our will and might forevermore. And help us to resist oppressors with all our will and might forevermore. Okay, so that's how our national anthem goes. Then I'll move on to talk about a brief history of Ghana. Actually, Ghana played an active role in the transatlantic slave trade. Then, after the Second World War, the people started demanding for equal rights as the British enjoyed in their country. So Ghanaians also felt, oh, they also need to have their own freedom and equal rights. So the British government responded to it by giving Ghanaians the opportunity to draft a constitution. You see, before independence, Ghana was known as the Gold Coast. So they granted us the opportunity to draft the constitution, the local constitution, the constitution of the Gold Coast. And then also they gave the blacks the chance to be elected into the then legislature or parliament. But then this wasn't enough for the local people. It wasn't enough for Ghanaians because they felt the gap. Because actually, the actual fact was that the colonial masters still had control over major decisions and the most important decisions. So there was still the struggle for independence, and Dr. Kwame Nkrumah actually spearheaded the struggle and the need for independence. In 1957, Ghana finally gained independence, and it was the first country in sub-Saharan Africa to gain independence. But then it wasn't an easy job at all. It came with struggle, and a lot of people lost their lives. There were a lot of injuries. So when Ghana gained independence, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah became the first prime minister, and then later on became the first president of the Republic of Ghana. Okay, so let me move on to talk about some historical sites. This one is the traditional building of the Ashanti Kingdom. The Ashanti Kingdom, it was one of the major kingdoms that functioned in Africa, and even still currently still very influential. It's found in the middle part of the country. So they had a lot of buildings during the European rule, but then such buildings were destroyed, and this particular building survived. It hasn't been destroyed till now. It didn't get destroyed, and it's still there till now. So it has 13 rooms. So it's a very nice place, and it has a whole lot of ancient items inside. So it's a very nice place to visit. Then the next place is the Kakuma National Park. The major attraction of this park is the Canopy Walk, which is the first of its kind in Africa, and it dates back to 1931, but it became a national park in 1992. Yeah, so a lot of people visit this place, and even Ghanaians visit this place during public holidays. Then the next place is the Black Star Square. It's also known as the Independence Square, and it was constructed in 1961. It was commissioned by Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, who was the first president. So it was commissioned by him to honor the visit of Queen Elizabeth II, and has since then been used for major national public gatherings. So it's also a nice place to visit. Then some other interesting places, areas that you can visit. We have the Boabin Fiama Monkey Sanctuary. It's found in the Brong Ahafo region, specifically in the Boabin Nkwanta North district. Actually, there are about 700 monkeys living there, and the monkeys live with the people in the community as if they are also part of the human beings. They live together with the human beings. When you get home, you see monkeys around, they stay with them. The monkeys they behave as if they are also human beings. So it's actually an interesting place to visit here in Ghana. Then the next place is the Jamestown Lighthouse. It is located in Jamestown, and it's a 28-meter square structure. It was built in 1930s, but then it replaced an earlier lighthouse that was built in 1871. So a lot of people also visit this place. Then the Kwao Mountains. The Kwao Mountains is a very known tourist place here in Ghana. Even Ghanaians visit there during Easter festivities. They get a lot of visitors during Easter festivities, not only from outside, but even from people here in Ghana visit the Kwao Mountains to have a lot of activities during Easter seasons. Now, I'll talk about some major cities in Ghana. We have Accra, which is the capital city of the country, actually, and then Cape Coast is the capital of Central Region, and there were a lot of slave trade activities in Cape Coast during the slave trade era. So there are a number of castles to be visited there, and ancient buildings too. Then Tema is one of the I think it's actually the most industrious town in Ghana. It's also located in the Greater Accra region. Then Kumasi is also part of the Ashanti Kingdom, and is the capital city for the Ashantis. Is the capital city for Ashanti. So that is where the traditional buildings are. Even the traditional buildings I displayed earlier on, that is where it's located in Kumasi. Now I'll move on to speak about some restaurants. We have the Sandbox Beach Club in Accra, which is in the Greater Accra region. Then we have the View Bar Grill, the View Bar and Grill in Kumasi, the Ashanti region, and the KCS Downtown in Ho, which is in the Volta region of Ghana. Now, I would also like to talk about some traditions of the people of Ghana. First is about Ghanaian hospitality. Ghanaians are very generous and hospitable, very, very hospitable, not just to family and friends, but also to strangers. Yeah, so sometimes they even fall victims due to their generosity and their hospitality. When you visit a home in Ghana, as a stranger, you'll be offered water and sometimes food. You'll be warmly welcomed. And then it's even unpleasant if you reject to drink water. Yeah. So they are very hospitable. The way they welcome you, it cuts across. And then I also like to talk about the dominance of the right hand. Actually, in Ghana, when you are addressing someone, you are talking to somebody, or you are giving something to someone, you are supposed to use the right hand.
Legal insurance, plus commuter and temporary income protection cover. Take care of those who take care of us.
So there's a dominance of the use of the right hand. In a situation where someone gives something to somebody and uses the left, it can even be considered as a sign of disrespect. So if your right hand is engaged, or like you are using your right hand to do something, then you have to excuse or apologize before using the left. So it's either you use the two hands to address or to communicate, or you use only the right hand. Yeah, so there's the dominant use of the right hand as part of the Ghanaian culture. Then we have a number of rites too that are being performed in Ghana. They differ according to the various tribes and ethnic groups. But some of the practices cut across the various tribes. So the birth rite is done for newborn babies and it's part of the naming ceremony. But one the various tribes is that they try to instill drop mineral, that's drink, a drink with taste into the mouth of the baby, and then the baby is told to drink whenever it's drink, and then after that they'll drop water 3 times, and they'll tell the baby to say it's water whenever it's water. So this is a way of instilling the culture of truthfulness in the baby. This practice cuts across a lot of rights. Puberty right is kind of getting outmoded in most parts of the country, but there are 2 tribes that are actually still practicing the puberty right. And the puberty right is a right that is done to mark the transition of a girl from mostly it's done for girls. So it's used to mark the transition of a girl from childhood to adulthood. And it is done to display to the public that the girl child is ready for marriage. 2 tribes are actually practicing the puberty rites strongly. The first one is the Krobos. The Krobos in the Krobos in the eastern region, closer to the Greater Accra. The name of their puberty rite is known as Dipo. And then the Bragro among the Ashantis. Yeah, so I think one reason why this practice is getting outmoded is because of the way the child is dressed, the girl is dressed. It's like it exposes some sensitive parts of the body and all that. So it's getting, but then it's very actively practiced and it is being modernized in some way, yeah, to address the challenges. So it's being practiced in Krobo and then also in Ashanti region as Bragro. Then marriage rights. Marriage rights, traditional marriages are done before, if the couple like they move on to do the white wedding. But then with the marriage rights, when in the general aspect of it is that has across the various all the tribes is that when marriage takes place, it's not just considered as a marriage or a marriage right for just the 2 people, the man and the woman, but then it's considered as a union between the 2 families. The 2 families then become one, they start doing things together. So before people get married and this rite is performed, the consideration of the family as a whole, the family as a whole is of the 2 parties is taken into consideration, not just the 2 people involved. Then we have the funeral rites, which is done by the family of the deceased. It's done by the family of the deceased for their deceased member. Okay. So it's the responsibility of the family to perform this rite. And it also differs from tribe to tribe here in Ghana. But then one aspect that cuts across is the wearing of dark clothes, black clothes, and then brown clothes, and then in some instances, red clothes. Some tribes, those who are very close, among some tribes like the Ashantis, those who are very close to the deceased, they add red to their dressing to indicate that they are the closest to the deceased. Yeah. And then in some instances too, it's in other tribes too, it's people who perform, take up certain roles in the family or in the town, like chiefs and some other leaders. They will take add the red to their dressing. Okay. The currency used in Ghana is the cedi, but pesos are for the lower denomination. Then with the languages, English is used across the country, and then we have about 80 different languages because of the numerous ethnic groups. But there are some dominant languages, and some of them are the Twi. Twi is very, very dominant. I think it's, apart from English, the most dominant language in Ghana. Then we have Ga, Fanti, Ewe, then Ga, Dangbi. So the Ga is spoken by the Gans, they are found in the Greater Accra region. Then Fanti, the Fantis are from the Central region, they speak Fanti. Ewe from the Volta region. Ga and Dangbi too, they are also in the Greater Accra region. Then in Zima, Western region, then Hausa, Frafra, and the Dagumba, they are also languages from the northern part of the country. Then with the dressing too, Kente is one of the most cherished and adored cloth in the country. Kente, and it has a whole different, it comes in different form of colors. And the kete is similar to the kente. And then we have the goja and the smoke. They are clothes coming from the northern part of the country. We have different local beverages. Sobolo is done from the bisabi flower. Very red. When you drink it, your tongue gets colored, gets red. Then we have palm wine drink, asana, and then pito. Then when in terms of music to Ghanaian high life is one of the most popular music aspects of the Ghanaian music, which has gained global recognition, and some musicians that have specialized in Ghanaian high life music are Amachi Dede, Daddy Lumba, Oforian Ponsa, and then Kwame Eugene. They really have strong followers. Okay, so now the achievements of the UN SDG goal, the UN SDGs, and then the Agenda 2063. I'll say for Ghana, there are a lot of structures that have been put in place, a lot of practices to achieve some of these goals. For instance, we have the National Health Insurance Scheme, where almost about 90% of Ghanaians are registered. So what we do is that just pay just a little amount monthly, and then even when it's even charged in the form of tax, so that when you buy something, you unconsciously you pay for the scheme, so that when you are sick and you go to the hospital, like most parts of your bills are covered by the scheme. So this is to make healthcare accessible and affordable to everyone. And then also there's free education, free and compulsory basic education in Ghana. And then there's free senior high school education here, which was implemented not to the free SHS, the free senior high school education was implemented not too long ago. That was in 20, 20, 2016, after the current president came into power, then he introduced it. It has faced a number of challenges though, but for now they try to fix a lot of things. But actually, it's a way of making senior high school education free and accessible to a lot of people, to almost all Ghanaians. But then I think that yes, these structures and systems are in place, and we efforts have, but for us to actually achieve in the Agenda 2063, I think that there should be effective structures and systems that have been put in place. Some of the systems in general that have been put in place seem not to achieve their goals. Some of them seem not to be functional. And then to achieve this, I think there should be effective communication among the various systems and structures. Also, in this structures, and when this is done, then these goals would easily be achieved, because I think that most of the structures needed have been put in place. Then also, the local people need to feel inclusive of national decision making. It shouldn't be like sometimes a lot of people think that oh, this is the responsibility of the government. After all, I wasn't consulted before they took this decision to construct this road or that road. So when the local people feel inclusive, they feel very well represented in various decision making in terms of development. I think that they will also be able to contribute and communicate realities on the ground, communicate proper solutions to address and to achieve the goals and the development aspirations of the country. So thank you very much, and this sends me to the end of my presentation. Thank you.
Wow. And it is very, very well prepared. Thank you so much, madam, for the effort that you put in making this lovely and elaborate presentation. So thank you so much for also the elaborate strategies that the country is trying to improve, and there is always room for improvement, and there is always room for partnerships. Like if someone who's in this particular group who thinks, that strategy, I think I could link it to the strategy that is in my country. How can I do it? Or maybe there's a strategy that is being implemented in Ghana and you need to also implement it in your own respective countries. You can always, these are the platforms where you can always connect and that how really is the strategy like, and how best can we also incorporate it in our individual countries as well. Thank you so much, madam. It was a clear presentation, and I didn't. There's a part that I didn't hear clearly. Like for the puberty, right? What's done? You mentioned that the puberty, right, is something that is used to mark a young girl proceeding into womanhood, or to signify that a woman is now a girl is now a woman. So what really is done to show the world? Do they put a mark on you? What really is done?
Okay, thank you very much for the question. Actually, the puberty rights it's actually done when the first menstruation of the girl is noticed. So when the mother notices that the child has got her first menstruation, then it means that she has been able to stay to get her menstruation without getting pregnant. So it's an occasion, and it is done. It's a form of honor to the family. So what is done is that they dress the girl. They dress they dress the girl. There's a traditional dressing depending on the tribe for the which is done for the girl a day before the rite to the girl is kept in the room with her friends. So it's and then they have a time that they will officially bring out all the girls, and then they go through a process, but it's kind of traditional, and then they prepare staple traditional food. People from the community come around, they play music, traditional music, like it is considered as an honor. So it's like it's like a festival. So the community will come together, then they'll do it for all the girls, they'll fix a date. The queen mothers also play a major role. Then the girl, you see, it's a transition, is a mark of transition from childhood to adulthood. So when after some rites are like some traditional rites are performed by queen mothers and they give them traditional food, then they will march the girls through the community, the whole community, playing traditional music whilst the girls will lead the march. So it's a way of displaying the girls to the public. Then the guys in the community too will be taking notes, and then will be making their choices in their minds. So that's the perception, you see, of displaying or passing the child through out the town. So all the women in the community, they will come together and support. So when it's time for them to when it is time for them to actually perform their rites, then if your child has got a first menstruation, then it means you present your child to the queen mothers and make it known that this year your child will be part of that activity. And then it's also they take opportunity to bring the girls together and then groom them, give them some traditional some knowledge they will need for their adulthood. So the occasion marks one, showing them to the public, and then also grooming them, and then also it's also an honor to the family that the child has been able to wait to get their first menstruation. Yeah, so the actual activity differs from the various tribes, but it's things to mark them is that one, traditional foods are given to them. They are kept in their room before they are outdoored. Then they are moved around the community, dressed dressed traditionally with beads. The Krobos use beads more than the Bragro, which is done by the Ashantis. Yeah, but you see, the Bragro, they expose. So that's some of the activities. So it's like a ceremony. It's a ceremony, yes, but it marks the transition from childhood to adulthood. Not all the tribes do it, and yeah, not all the tribes, but currently it's the Krobos and the Ashantis that are
Okay, that's
actually
fine.
performed. Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. Thank you so much for the clear elaboration. We just wanted clarity on that. Thank you so much for the comprehensive and in-depth and elaborate presentation. It was really good. And what was interesting was the 700 monkeys. Oh my God! So they are coexisting with the monkeys. Yeah, it's really something. Eh? It's really exciting. And I was really touched by the point when you said Ghana people, they are very hospitable. If you walk there, they can actually offer you water and food. That's really nice. And as Africans, if we all unite like that. I'm pretty sure Uganda as well. When Madame Ashton was presenting, she also mentioned the issue of hospitality. You know, that nature of being welcoming, of being nice. That's really, really awesome. And I just hope that all Africans will be able to adopt the same, you know, characteristics and the same goodness and niceness, because it's really not, you know, it's not everyone who's able to do that, to offer food, to offer help to a stranger. But these are some of the um values that we also should uphold. And you talked about Sombolo and Pito. That's my area. It's not really my area, but I would definitely, when I come to Ghana, I would definitely drink it. There's this song that I know, a Ghanaian song, that says, I go dance, oh, I go dance, oh, I go dance, oh, I go dance, oh. You know it, right?
I didn't hear you. What was
Okay,
the
I was
song?
saying, okay, I was saying there's a Ghanaian song that's like, I go dance, oh, I go dance,
I go dance,
oh,
oh, I go dance,
I go dance,
oh, I go dance, oh. May
oh. Yeah.
Machiabe, may Machiabe.
Yeah, that's the only Ghanaian song I know, and it's so nice. I like it.
Okay, it's actually a gospel music.
It's a gospel.
Yeah, yes, it's a gospel
They're
music.
dancing for the Lord.
Yeah, it was sung by Philippa Befi. Yeah.
Oh, nice. Ah, that's the
Mm,
only one that I know. And when I heard it, I loved it. So
yeah.
thank you so much. Thank you so much, madam. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you too. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you for the presentation.
Madam Rovimbo, are you in the house?
Yes, 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 yes. I am. I am. I actually thought they were going to mention about jollof rice. I actually thought that is part of their, what do you call this, staple food. You
Oh, there's
know,
jollof
when you
rice in Ghana.
I was actually, you know how it is when it comes to African movies. They will show you certain things you'll be assuming, okay, is this correct? Or this is
I
just
thought it
us
was
seeing
Nigeria
something
now.
else.
Wow. I thought it was Nigeria. Madam Grace, there's a
No,
question here. Is there
Yeah, you
jollof
see.
rice in Ghana?
they
Yes,
can
there is
start about
jollof
it.
in Ghana. There's jollof
There
in
is,
Ghana. Actually,
yes.
there's that kind of competition that Ghanaian jollof and Nigerian jollof, which one is nicer? There's actually that
I
competition among the Ghanaians and Nigerians here.
right, right, right. This is the first food tour for me. Is that the Nigeria or Ghana? Then I'll see which one is the best because
Oh,
there's stiff competition. Very stiff competition. But anyway,
yes,
this is very much good confirmation. I will know what to do
a
within
very
this year.
strong competition.
Very
But
stiff competition.
I think for me, I think they are all nice.
But then you should favor for your own country and be like, Ghana is the best. Ghana is the best. You know.
Yes, there's that
Mm.
competition. There's that competition, but then I just don't want to be. Ghanaian jollof is nice too, but actually I've not really tasted Nigerian jollof. So based on the
Oh,
Ghanaian
okay.
jollof, I think that Ghanaian jollof is nice too, but I've not tasted Nigerian jollof, I just don't want to judge.
Okay. So before we go any further, to those who have just joined us, are you kindly put the name of your country in front? Like for instance, if it's Joseph from Tampa, you just put in brackets and say Burundi or Kenya, or you just put your the name of your country just in the front. So how do you do it? You just go on participants and then you click on your name and then you click on what's written rename. Just put the name of your country in front. Okay. So with that being said, the next presentation is going to be from Mr. Musa Kone. Mr. Musa Kone is from Sierra Leone, and before we have his presentation, Mr. Musa, maybe this time is for you to just get ready. We're just going to have a short clip just to refresh. We've been having consecutive from Ethiopia, we had Ghana, and then from Ghana, we had Uganda. So we just want to have just a small break. And this is a song it's a love song it's a Zimbabwean love song. So they're in the rural areas. So we're just gonna play it as soon as the song is over. Then we'll hand over to Yusa Musa Kone. So maybe it's time for you to prepare. So here's the song.
Diamond, got diet and get it come off full. Simplex music.
You are. Karudo ke dukatina kokanofaira usachinje ndinobuda zvauri usachinje karudo kedu katinako kanotwaira usachinje ndinobuda zvauri usachinje pane chandakanyora mumoyo moyo wangu ndiwe mai mwana
Kwandiri mudiwa usanetsekane zvese zvangu ndazvipira iwe
kana zvabata tinotamba mande dzimwe nguva totamba chamuwande
chamutengure ngatitambe rure
ndakakunyora mupfungwa nemumoyo rudo rwako runondibaya moyo ukandisiya wandirasa mudondo kundibaya pamoyo nemunondo karudo kedu katinako kanotwaira usachinje ndinobuda zvauri usachinje karudo kedu katinako kanotwaira usachinje ndinobuda zvauri usachinje nonditira mdiwa ndinokuda mdiwa hakuna mumwe mdiwa
ndiyakuthanda dali ngeke ngishiye lavi ngizohlala ngikuthanda
nemumoyo rudo rwako runondibaya moyo ukandisiya wandirasa mudondo kundibaya pamoyo nemunondo
I can feel my temperature rising. Ndikuchira kureko, auzondisiendeka.
With two musical videos from two singers. They were all collabos. So I love the last video more than the first because okay, both songs were talking about love, but the last video now it encourages everyone that you don't have any reason, you don't have anything that's stopping you from reaching your life goals because these are two prominent Zimbabwean musicians that are living with disability, but they are making waves in as much as music is concerned. If they post their music video today, within the next few hours, it would have hit millions. And what's really nice about their songs is that they touch the realities of the songs. Like in this case, the guy is saying, let's try out a relationship. And this girl is like, okay, but these are my principles, these are certain standards because I've been in relationships before and I've been deceived before. So just you need to prove to me that you mean serious business. So it also communicates to girls about the values that they need to uphold and how certain the relation dynamics in general. So those were two refreshes. Those were two songs that were meant to just to go around. And then the first song, they were in the rural areas. They were wearing traditional way. So the girl was simply saying that, you know what? Yes, we are in this relationship, but please do not change because people change. So please do not change. When things get nice, people they tend to misbehave. So those were the two songs that we meant. They were just refreshes. And without further ado, I'm going to leave this time to Mr. Musa Kone. Mr. Musa Kone is from Sierra Leone, and we are so honored to have you in the house. And when we were planning this whole event, Mr. Musa Kone was one of the people who supportive, who wanted to make sure that this information reaches as many Africans as possible. So we are honored to have you in the house, Mr. Musa. The floor is yours.
Yeah, hello.
Yes, Mr. Musa, we can hear you.
Yeah, thank you very much. I'm happy to be here also, although I have some key challenges, but I think this is also important of things in my list to do. It has been something that has put as a task to complete. I will please ask that if you can present for me because I'm not with my laptop. I'm not at home. I travel to attend to some serious issues that is happening around some community here in Sierra Leone, and especially around women. As a women advocate and also activist, I have to run to come and see exactly how to handle this issue. So also far off because I have to run like some mines off and climb a mountain. I'm on top of like a very high place just for me to get a coverage so I can join this all important program. So I'll please ask you to do the presentation on your part so that I can just go through it. Is that okay? All right. Thank you very much. First of all, I want to just do like a short introduction. My name is okay. My name is Musa Kone. I'm from Sierra Leone, and I'm happy to be here once again. So just want to go straight to the presentation. Please, also sorry because I was not able to affix some photos to the presentation because of the area where I am. Internet is really a big problem or a big challenge to us here. So we have to move like some distance to go, except when I'm around the cities, but like I'm presently in the interior. So I'm happy to do this presentation. I first of all want to talk about our national flag or the country itself. The name of my country is Sierra Leone, and the color of the flag is green, white, and blue. And the green stand for agriculture, the white stand for peace, and the blue stand for natural harbor, because Sierra Leone has a whole lot of natural harbors that was not created by people, it's natural. So that's it. So if we go to the national anthem, if I can talk about our national anthem, our national anthem is called the Sierra Leone national anthem because our day of suffering is a love we have for thee, family united, ever we stand, singing and praise, O native land. We raise up our voice, we raise up our heart, and our voice is on high. The hills and the valleys re-echo our cry. Blessing and peace be ever thy own, land that we love, our Sierra Leone. And this national anthem is something that always brings Sierra Leoneans together. Whenever our national anthem is on, nobody is allowed to walk around. Everybody stands still until the national anthem is done. So it is something that really, really brings Sierra Leoneans together. If we talk about the brief history of Sierra Leone, can we go to the brief history? Hello? That's good, thank you. Well, Sierra Leone first was occupied by local Africans, or we refer to them as indigenous Africans, who were also from the Crown Colony, like from England and other parts of the world, about 2,000 years ago. And we have a particular tribe in Sierra Leone who, according to history, we are the first people who we are found in Sierra Leone. We call them the Limba people. So you can also see that Sierra Leone is found in West Africa with a culture, and also is a place where, just like I said earlier, where people are really running to find refuge, that's escaping violence and other jihadis problems from their own country to Sierra Leone. it's a country of peace, and it's a country that was also founded by a Portuguese sailor, Pedro Ascenta, and in 1462, and also found the name of our city, which we call now Freetown. When you say Freetown, it means like it was where the free slaves we are located after a whole lot of suffering from or under the colonial masters. When they returned and they found a place, it was named Freetown, with the natural harbors for ships and also other shelters. Where you also have fresh drinking waters and many more international attentions as a coastal and transit Atlantic trade, where people are doing their trades in the sub-Sahara Africa. Sierra Leone also become an independent state on the 27th April 1961, and one of our great grandfather, Miti Magai, was the prime minister at the time, because he led the process of Sierra Leone gaining its independence. And 10 years later, on the 19th April, also in 1971, the country became also a republic with an elected president as the head of state. So from that time, we have also got series of other elections, other presidents and other people have also been ruling the country from that time. So so far so good. That is Sierra Leone. It's a very peaceful country where we don't have boundaries in terms of whether you are a Christian, you are a Muslim, you are this, everybody, because they do intermarry. Nobody cares about what you do in terms of maybe your tribes or your religion or what you believe in. So that is Sierra Leone. So if we look at the historical sites in Sierra Leone, or areas or places to visit if you come in Sierra Leone, I should have also tried to affix some of the photos, but I was not able. So like we have the first one here is the Bones Island, which is found in the southern part of the country, in Bones district. This island was the place where the first free slave that came to Africa, to the continent, were located. They found this particular place where they were transported. So they were there, and they have to like divide themselves now to go to their various homes. And we have the National Railway Museum in Freetown also, which is a very nice place that I would have loved if the photos should have been there so you can see. But the name is already there. Whenever you are in Sierra Leone, these are places that you can also see for yourself, because there are many old things that have passed, years back. You can find about them in this particular museum. Then we have St. George Katskida as an old place where a lot of traditional things that we, the young ones, cannot even think about now. But maybe people have just been explaining. When you go there, you can get a clear picture of what they explain to you. And then we have our Conti tree. The Conti tree is a very big tree that is found in Freetown, at the center of Freetown. And it is not also far from the State House. Unfortunately, today we'll just get the news that that tree have fallen down. I don't know how true is that, because that's just what we got from news this morning. But it has been a great sight to really see, or great thing to see in Sierra Leone. Then we have the King's Cage. We have the Hausa Mobi, but these are just like some key ones that really amaze anyone that really visit this places. And for our city, the capital city of Sierra Leone is Freetown. And hello, can you hear me? Hello. All right.
Yes, I can hear you.
All right. Okay. I think I have not done with the thing I said. I just ended with Bo. So Bo is the second capital city of Sierra Leone, while Kenema is the third capital city. Kenema is found in the eastern part of the country, while Bo is in the southern part of the country. And then we also have where some very good restaurants is here. We have the Crown Express restaurant. We have the Tuma. We have the Djibouti restaurants. These are really, really good restaurants that if you visit those restaurants, you can get, and then you cannot even miss your country, because definitely you will find all the food that you eat in your country in those restaurants that I have just named. So we talk about traditions. Like when we come to marriage in Sierra Leone, marriage rituals are done through like you take kola to the woman, to the family of the woman that you want to marry, and if the people accept the kola, and in return they will ask the woman that this man have brought you a kola. Can we accept this kola? If the woman say yes, then the marriage will also hold. And for also when it comes to burial issues in Sierra Leone, it's like when someone dies here, if you are a Muslim, you are buried on that same day, except maybe it is in the night hour or the time is too late. If it's not too late, there's no way you can sleep on earth in the same building with people. They will bury you on that same day. Likewise, when you talk about the Christians, they do their burial maybe in a week or 2 or 3, because most of the time they have to keep their burial for some times. But for the Muslims, they don't go like that. You die today, they bury you today. So like when you also talk about divorce in Sierra Leone, well, sometimes at a time where sometimes even the woman can just maybe take some money and take it either to the chief or those people who are present during the marriage, and give them that money and say, okay, I was the one that say I want this man, but now I did not want him, so I have to go. Something like that. We in our local languages, we call it a foy, that the woman will just go and return you easily. So these are some of the way. Even the men also, the men can also do the same. Maybe if they are really tired of the woman now and they want to divorce, they will just take you to your parents and then hand over you with some money. Say, okay, this woman, I have married her, but now I do not need her any longer. Something like that. Then if the family accepts, then that's it. But that's the reason why when you are getting married in Sierra Leone, you have to get representative from either family. You have to get one person that represents your mother when anything happens, when your mothers or fathers are not around. You take your matters to them. Yeah, they will be the people that really look after that particular marriage in terms of any issues that occur during the period of time. So you must have to reach them first before even reaching your family, because they refer to them as godfathers or god that mommy, something like that. So that's it. And like the Muslim normally do not use coffin for burial, because they see it as a different thing in their own way, because they have every mosque in Sierra Leone have like a coffin, just like a local one, where they will just take you to the bury place, they bury you, and they return back that coffin to that particular locations so that they can able to use it for any other things that happen. Because the reason is that maybe there are some people, they don't have the upper hand to buy a coffin for their disease, so the mosque always is there to step in. So I think these are some of the traditions and rituals in Sierra Leone, how it has been performed. So let's go to the next slide. Yeah, the dressing code is really different and also varies per our traditions and also the tribes in Sierra Leone. We have a country cloth, which is popularly used, which is made up of a local thread that is being grown here in Sierra Leone. They also call it a kapu kapu. And it's being used by, in fact, it's not almost everybody cannot only use it, because when you put all those clothes, like the country cloth, when you put it on, it's signifying different things at different times. People put them on the particular occasions. Well, traditionally or spiritually, I can see there are some of the clothes here, like the country clothes. When you put it on, you get some gathering. In their own way, they will test you in their own way, that maybe to ask you if you are a real man, or to ask you if you are a real woman. So it is something that people do not normally put on. It's just now like the world is like modernizing a bit. We are advancing our cultures and other things, but it is something that is being used by paramount chief or key stakeholders, people who, well, in their own way, in the Africa traditional spiritual way, they are really strong spiritually. Because if you are not too strong, if you use those things, this country close, then if you get to a gathering, well, sometimes you will end up even, let's say, losing your life, because they have to test you really to prove whether you are fit to put up that particular clothes or clothes that you are putting on. So that is what it's about, our traditional gown that people put on. If we also talk about like food or beverages that we use, or meal that we use, like one, we have the palm wine, which we call poyo, which you get from the palm tree. And then we have something they call bine in our traditional language. It's called bine because when you taste it, it's big bitter and really look strong, and it is made out of sugar and the palm wine also. And we also have the tumbi juice. The tumbi is just something that we plant around our communities, and people harvest and make it into juice. We also have a bisap. Bisap also is being produced here. People make it in different form for easier drinking. Then we have some meal. We have cassava and beans, which is one of the most popular among students in Sierra Leone, and even other people. We have olele, which is also be prepared from cassava. We have agidis, be prepared from corn. And then we have other leaf stews like potato, green, and so on and so forth. So people just have different of the leaf stews that they want based on their own traditions and their tribes. Then the currency that we use in Sierra Leone is leones. We use leones. Our money is called leones. Then if we look at the official language in Sierra Leone is Creole. I just forgot to measure other things because but the English is the official language in Sierra Leone officially, but we also have other tribes. We have 16 ethnic groups in Sierra Leone, and all of them have their own way in terms of greeting. Or in English, we just say hello or good morning, good afternoon, good evening, something like that. And for say like this day, I'm Musa Kone, I live in Bo, something like that. Are you set?
Yes, it's all right.
Okay, so like I just finished that, like for introduction, to say like my name is Musa Kone. I live in Bo, Sierra Leone. So these are some of the things. But we have the other tribe language that is really close to English, which we really speak like nationwide, is Creole. I just forgot to measure that. So the Creole is like one of the, apart from English, is the wide speaking language really in Sierra Leone. So you can say in Creole, Adibody, hey Musa Adibody, final, something like that. So it's just similar to English. The Creole is similar to English. So that's what we also speak here. And then we have the Mende, you have the Loco, you have the Kru, the Gola, you have the Timini, because Mende is one of the largest tribe in Sierra Leone. So they also have their own way in saying hello and how are you, something like that. So let's go to the next slide. About the musician, because this was like a discussion one, but like the best musicians or somebody who have like hitting song is Cao de Nero. Cao de Nero is a Sierra Leonean, and you can see one of his most popular song is Number One. He tells everybody here in Sierra Leone that he is on number one, he's the king, and presently he is the ambassador for all musicians in Sierra Leone, because he has been doing very, very well. So he has been given that particular positions by the president of the country. So he is leading. If we go to the next slide about religious sects in Sierra Leone, well, first of all, Sierra Leone is there's a country that believe in tolerance. So here, nobody cares whether you are a Christian or Muslim or you practice Africa tradition. No, nobody cares about you. People cannot say because you are a Christian, I don't have nothing to do with you, or they can say if you are a Muslim, I don't have nothing to do with you, or an Africa tradition and religion. So in Sierra Leone, we have the Christianity, we have the Islam, then we also have the Africa traditional religions that are practiced here in Sierra Leone. But all of those religions, all the people that belong to these particular different religious sects, you cannot know. Nobody, you cannot even tell, except maybe when it's time to go for prayer, you see the Muslim go to the mosque. When it is Sunday, you see the Christian going to church. When it is time for the Africa traditional religious people, they also do their own part of it, and nobody questioned them. So we have one of the songs that bring out some culture. It's one of the man, is a local musician. It's called Bobby, but he has one of the popular songs that really hits the country once, sometimes back. And the song is called Pay, where in one of our traditional language, when you say pay, it means like a loan, like when you go to somebody to loan, and it has a whole lot of things that people really, really love that he talks about in that particular song. So if we talk about the country dance and their names, we have the Bubu dance, which is one of the most popular dance. It's been found within the Timini people in the northern region. And you talk about the Wunde women, and then we talk about the Kondi Gomin. The Kondi Gomin is being performed by the Mende people of Sierra Leone in the south and eastern part of Sierra Leone. This is one of the most popular thing among those people, and it brings them together. It makes peace. It makes them, even so, there are some people who have not been talking for like ages, but this particular dance bring them together. They hug themselves, they dance together. They don't want to know maybe if I have been having a problem with Mr. A or Mr. B. They all come together to do this dance. The Wunde dance is a powerful dance that is also found in the southern region of the country, which is being performed by the Kpang Mendes, because we have Mendes, but we have different types of Mende also in Sierra Leone. You have the Gula Poro dance. The Gula Poro dance is being performed by men, but it is really interesting. So the women most of the time they dominate, but it is really meant for the men, for the men's society, because they have their own society. That's their dance. And we have the Sunday. Sunday is a secret society for women in Sierra Leone, and they have their own dance that they also dance whenever they want to do the final ceremony of their society. So I think we are at the final point now. We are talking about the team accelerating development and diffusions of emerging technologies for a green, inclusive and resilient Africa. So what we have been thinking, looking at the importance of this particular topic or theme, I think we embarking on creating more digital hubs and also space for us to provide the pathway for sustained economic growth. And you know, we are really behind Africa as a whole. Let me just put it that way when it comes to technology, because other countries has been going, they are far gone. Most of the things that they have forgot about is there are things that we are planning to do. So we also try to institute like reform of policies that will encourage people to really pay attention to the digital world. Also try to see how the government can encourage more people to do more of like, let's say, the IT studies, you do more of computer, because in Sierra Leone, I will tell you, you can see people in university who have taken a long period of time, maybe 4 or 5 years in university, and they are graduated. They don't have no idea about maybe working with computer. So we want that one to be also part of the curriculum or the modules of universities in Sierra Leone. And we can also try to use this as a strategy to diffuse emerging technology into agriculture and other sectors. The other sectors are like education, the medical side, so we can really see how this will bring change, well, not only to Sierra Leone, but Africa, because this is really key. As far as I look at it, we want to see that we are able to accelerate this particular development, then we need to embark in and also raising awareness to the people why IT or digital thing is important, so people can grow more interest and do it. And we make it more easier in the way that maybe if somebody want to go and read like the IT course in college, maybe they give them scholarship. So that will be another way that we can able to contribute to fulfill this part, to answer these questions. It's about encouraging and also an inclusive way. Like, we don't have to look at whether you are coming from a poor home, because like the IT course in universities are one of the most expensive courses. So a lot of people do not go in for it because they don't have the money to pay. So they go in for other courses, but they also need this also to be part of there, because now most of the job advert they do is they ask for your knowledge about computer, if you can able to use maybe the softwares. And most people here do not have any idea about computer thing. So I think it will be good for us to really create this way, and that is what I think we can also embarking on, to see that if we are able to achieve that in bringing more people to this field, and more people, the understanding of people in the digital world get enough in Sierra Leone or in Africa, then we can move, and then we can able to answer or adhere to this particular theme for this year, as far as the Africa celebration is concerned. So so far so good. I think this is the end of my presentation. I want to say thank you, and I'm really happy today because I'm seeing a lot of women that are taking part in this particular celebration, and they are bringing out key issues. So it's a dream come true, because this is one of my goals. I always want to see women leading. So I thank you very, very much for giving me the time for and do my short presentation. Thank you.
Wow, thank you so much, Mr. Kone, for the sacrifice and powerful contributions that you mentioned, right, at the end of the presentation. Because I feel like with the right support, with the right engagement, with the right, effort also the government takes part in some of these strategies, then it will definitely push the nation further. And thank you so much for the sacrifice. That was really an elaborate presentation. All the information that someone has on in the Sierra Leone, you now in a better position. You now know the important stuff. Right. Thank you so much for making sure that all the details, the detail oriented, and all the information is clear. Thank you so much for that. And also for the sacrifice, right at the beginning of the session, you mentioned that there was an mentioned that there was an emergency and you had to make sure that you come here and you deliver. So thank you so much for that, for the sacrifice. We really, really thank you. And I have a question though. You say there is Muslim and Christianity, right? But in as much as everyone is free to do whatever they want to do, the population has more people on which side? Are there more Muslims as to Christians? Like, is the country, does the country have um a dominant religion, or it's equally distributed? Is there a dominant religion? Mr. Musa? Okay, that's fine. I'm pretty sure that you'll be able to.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah,
Okay.
I was having some issues. Of course, you are saying things I didn't get you clear. But I think the last one that I just get was that if the country have a dominant
Yeah,
religion.
yes.
Yeah.
Like you say, the greater part of the population is this.
Yeah. Well, for Sierra Leone, the dominant one is the Muslim. We have more of the Muslims. Yeah, I say we have more of Muslims in Sierra Leone when it comes to the population for religion.
Okay, that's fine. So thank you so much. I was saying that thank you so much for the elaborate and detail-oriented presentation, because it had all the important and basic information. No, the important aspects, you mentioned them. So thank you so much, as well as the strategies that can be implemented in universities. I do believe that with the right partnerships and with the right and with government involvement, then it can push Sierra Leone further. And thank you so much for bringing to light some of those issues, and these are really, really powerful strategies. And I also wanted to say thank you so much for the sacrifice, because I do believe that you had your own personal commitments, but you had to honor the word that you had given us, that you would come and represent Sierra Leone. And I can confidently say that Sierra Leone has been represented well. Honestly speaking, I love the name of your country, Sierra Leone. It's like, it's fancy, it's nice. It's nice. The name of the country, it's so fancy. And I've always wondered what's going on in the. And thank you so much for shedding more light. I would want to have my kopo soon, the dressing, I would want to have it. And it was also important to know that you also have palm oil, because I think Ghana also mentioned that they have palm oil. So these are some of the similarities that that are really nice to say, oh, this is there in this country, it's also there in that country. That's really nice. And the cassava and beans, the olele. Oh, I just wish if there was a Sierra Leone restaurant in Zimbabwe, you should come and invest because or we should visit. I think we are the ones who we're supposed to visit. And I wanted to ask, are you guys welcoming? If we come to your country, will you accept us? Because we like visiting and we all want to visit Sierra Leone. And then I'm trying to call Mr. Musa. Mr. Musa is like, don't bother me. How are people generally? Is it maybe you mentioned it. Generally, is that a peaceful nation? Or there are times we should
Yeah.
visit. There are times
Yes.
we should.
Yeah, Sierra Leone is a very peaceful country, and it's a friendly country. If you come to Sierra Leone, you will love to come back because, in fact, even within ourselves, in fact, there's one tribe that everybody knows that their hospitality is really, really great. It's the Mende people. So, in fact, the Mende man will ask his or her brother out of a room just to lodge a stranger. So that is one of the key things that people really, really admire about them. They are peaceful. So Sierra Leone is like they don't want to know whether you are a foreigner. In fact, they don't want to know where you are coming from or who are you. They are just friendly around you. So you are welcome at any time to come down to Sierra Leone. You can see amazing things here in Sierra Leone. So I also think, because these are some of the things that we should also work towards in terms of accepting other people from other countries so we can share experience and ideas about development. So maybe there is something that is happening in Kenya, which is new for Sierra Leone. If we have that people moving from one country to another country within the continent, I think it will be a very big boost for Africa. So yeah, you guys are always welcome to Sierra Leone.
Oh, nice, lovely. Thank you so much. And I'll use your word against you when you ghost us in Sierra Leone. We are coming very soon. And you'll be like, but Mr. Musa, you're saying Sierra Leone is working. What is this now? So thank you so much for that. And it's always good to know that a country is peaceful and they're welcoming. It encourages us, the travelers, to to travel more and to do all sorts of activities. Thank you so much, Mr. Musa, for the lovely presentation, and we really, really appreciate it. So I'm very happy that my co-host Shirimbo is now in the building. So you'll be hearing less of my voice and more of you now. But before I hand over my chairing rights, I just want to check if Mr. Edwin, are you ready for the presentation, sir? Or you're sitting up? Are you ready to present? Mr. Edwin? Okay, that's fine. He just sent a message. So as we are refreshing, we're just gonna hear a small song, and as soon as that song is over, we'll have an interesting another interesting history, current affairs, and what the future holds for Liberia, because Liberia was one of the countries that were not colonized. So earlier on we had from Ethiopia, and then now we're also going to hear from Liberia. And those were amazing sessions. We had from Uganda, we had from Ghana, we had from, so this has been a very informative day. The reason why we're doing this is you also appreciate the differences and the uniqueness in each African country, and different strategies coming from different countries as well. So if you're up for partnerships, know Mr. Musa, know Madame Achen, know Malat. So this also opens doors for partnerships, sustainable partnerships, and a way forward for making sure that the strategies that we have said, we put them into action. So without further ado, we are going to have a song. So enjoy.
tichapira rwisi maimwana chikomera uripo mangwana zvinonaka ucharivona razara tichapanda motsi maimwana nzaramba mangu ndikafunga kachana chimwe nechimwe chine nguva yacho tichapira rwisi maimwana chikomera uripo mangwana zvinonaka ucharivona razara tichapanda motsi maimwana tsekedza yakazara takaikangira mutumeni chwere chikasara nhuko kana pfuma inaka yakaperera mukuripa ngozi yakasiwa nababa ndaiti tichabereka mwana vanosara chitevera kwara mimba ikaramba kubata ndaiti tichabereka mwana vanosara chitevera kwara mimba ikaramba kubata gore rakauya nenhamo chimwe nechimwe chine nguva yacho tichapira rwisi maimwana chikomera uripo mangwana zvinonaka ucharivona razara tichapanda motsi maimwana nzaramba mangu ndikafunga kachana chimwe nechimwe chine nguva yacho tichapira rwisi maimwana chikomera uripo mangwana zvinonaka ucharivona razara tichapanda motsi maimwana hama dzikauraya mombe kutomhanya nebagatwa kunoita mucheka dzafa hama dzikauraya mombe kutomhanya nebagatwa kunoita mucheka dzafa shungu dzirege dziputike kurisa mizodzi zvireruke kawira pasi usimuke shungu dzirege dziputike kurisa mizodzi zvireruke kawira pasi usimuke gore rakauya nenhamo chimwe nechimwe chine nguva yacho tichapira rwisi maimwana chikomera uripo mangwana zvinonaka ucharivona razara tichapanda motsi maimwana nzaramba mangu ndikafunga kachana chimwe nechimwe chine nguva yacho tichapira rwisi maimwana chikomera uripo mangwana zvinonaka ucharivona razara tichapanda motsi maimwana.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, so the song popular musician in Zimbabwe. It's called Chimene Chimne. So what happened in this song is that the husband and the wife, they were facing a lot of challenges because the already things were not stable, but the few items that they were left with, they were taken away from them when one of the parents died, right? So it means they already had nothing, and the little things they had, they were taken away from them. And then, as if that was not enough, they were failing to have a baby. So it's problem after problem. First that, another one, poverty, and then now they are not able to get a baby. So the husband is trying to encourage the woman that, you know what, let's take it easy. Let's take one day at a time. I know things are not going on well at the moment, but things are going to happen. Life is going to change. So that's when he is saying, like, every time has its day, like take each day at a time. One day it's gonna happen. I see you saw her crying, and they were really going through a lot, that couple. And then the lady finally decides to go to the city to look for a job. So we didn't finish the presentation because of time, but the lady eventually goes to the city and she finally got a job and things start turning around. So He's a popular musician, Java Prija. He's my personal favorite. Like I said in the beginning, in Zimbabwe, we don't have one guru because the moment there are two popular musicians, those who like the other do not like the other. So the nation is divided into two. So I'm on the other side. I support this one. So without further ado, we have Mr. Edwin from Liberia. He was saying that he's having a few issues with his presentation. So we're just gonna play a video from Madame Zipporah. She is from Kenya. So she was not able to come today, but she sent through her video. So we're just gonna play it. We're just gonna play her video.
My name is Zipporah Nyangara Mumbi. I am from Kenya. I am the founder and the executive director of an organization called Haven of Dreams, based in. Hi everyone. My name is Zipporah Nyangara Mumbi. I am from Kenya. I am the founder and the executive director of an organization Haven, based in Kenya, Nakuru. We work around two thematic areas, namely mental health and psychosocial support, and child, adolescent, and youth empowerment. And just to kickstart us, let me introduce Kenya to you. So Kenya is a country, a beautiful country, currently with around a population of above 50 million. We gained our independence in the year 1963. And we have two types of government, one being the national government that is led by the president, and the county governments. We actually have 47 counties in Kenya. And the structures of our government, of course, is the president, the governor, the senator, the member of parliament, and the MCAs, as well as women representative. Currently, in Kenya, our currency is actually Kenya shillings that we use, and our national language is Swahili, but our official language is also English. As a country, we have at least 42 different ethnicity, ranging from the Bantus, the Nilotes, and the Kushites, and with, of course, the Bantus taking a larger percentage. It's really an honor to be part of our country. In our country, we have so many tourist destinations. In Kenya, you could come if you want to visit the coastal regions. We have Mombasa, we have Malindi, we have the Diani Beach that I would encourage each one of us just to pay a visit if you want we have the national reserves, we have Masai Mara, we have the different lakes that in our country that you get to enjoy and just be part of who we are. We of course have the different cultures that we have, and of course when you come to Kenya, the first thing that you will hear is Hakuna Matata. There's no worry in Africa, and I think for Africa there's no worry in Kenya, that is. And I think for us as a country, one of the things that bring us together, apart from having meme lords, is the fact that we are able to support each other. Yes, we have different political inclinations. We may differ. Hi everyone, my name is Zipporah. To enjoy and just be part of who we are. We of course have the different cultures that we have, and of course when you come to Kenya, the first thing that you will hear is Hakuna Matata. There's no worry in Africa, and I think for Africa there's no worry in Kenya, that is. And I think for us as a country, one of the things that bring us together, apart from having meme lords, is the fact that we are able to support each other. Yes, we have different political inclinations. We may differ.
Okay, so that was Madame Sephora. That was Madame Sephora from Kenya. And thank you so much, Madame, for recording the video. Thank you so much for being part of this amazing program. And 50 million, that's good. And then indeed, Hakuna Matata. Oh, it's actually a phrase from Kenya, because the first time I actually saw that phrase was Lion King, but I didn't know the origins of that statement. So it's really important to know that the statement is from Kenya. Yeah, it's something that I've actually learned. Thank you so much for making us. So Madame Sephora is going to send the full version of the video as well as the PowerPoint. So again, you kindly send an email to the email address that I've just sent in the chat box, please. initiative@gmail.com. That's one. So initiative@gmail.com. So that's from that email. You just tell us that I was part of the session. I mean, you can listen through the content, and we'll definitely do that. So ladies and gentlemen, at this moment in time, we're supposed to have a presentation from Liberia, but I'm pretty sure that he's still making deliberations on how. So we have another presentation from Sekuru Monomutema. So Sekuru Monomutema is a guru when it comes to culture. He's a Zimbabwean guru, anything to do with culture, how things are supposed to be done. He knows what he does in that area. So I'm just gonna share his presentation. He couldn't join us today, but he sent through a presentation. So I'm just gonna share it. Okay. So Africa Day, Peoples of Africa, Muri Africa. So Muri Africa, it's Shona, it's Muri, it's family of Africa. So this is what he has asked us to present to all of the delegates. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So it says, let me start by saying happy greetings to you all, Vanwe Africa, the peoples of Africa, both in Africa and in the diaspora, on this Africa Day, May 25, 2023, when we celebrate 60 years of the formation of the Organization of African Unity, or AU, now African Union, AU, formed on 23 May 1963 in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. Africa by the leaders from all of Africa and leaders from the diaspora. I am very grateful to the Tanara Initiative who have provided with this opportunity. Okay. Okay. Someone has just sent me a message that they couldn't hear. I hope you can hear me now. Can you please say so in the chat box? So I'm just gonna repeat. Okay, so Africa Day, May 25, 2023. Let me start by saying happy greetings to you all Vanwe Africa, the peoples of Africa, both in Africa and in the diaspora on this Africa Day, May 25, 2023, when we celebrate 60 years of the formation of the Organization of African Union or AU, now African Union AU, formed on 23 May 1963 in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. Africa by the leaders from all Africa and leaders from the diaspora. I am very grateful to the Tanyarazo Initiative who have provided me with this opportunity to discuss with you and also share some ideas on what the Africa Day should mean to all the peoples of Africa, both in Africa and in the diaspora. From 1963, May 25 has been celebrated as the Africa Unity Day by all the peoples of Africa following the formation of the OAU, now the AU. And thereafter, May 25 was declared as the Africa Day to be observed and celebrated by all the peoples of Africa, both in Africa and the diaspora. They celebrate the formation of the OAU or AU as the birth of an organization formed specifically to champion the cause of the peoples of Africa, both in Africa and the diaspora. The formation of the OAU or AU was a product of the movement for Pan-Africanism started by the peoples of Africa in the diaspora at the beginning of the 20th century when they held in 1900 or 1901 the first conference for the movement for Pan-Africanism in Paris, France, organized by luminaries, among them Dr. W.E. Du Bois. The second conference of the movement for Pan-Africanism was held in 1945 in Manchester, UK, when leaders from the diaspora and Africa met to map out the road to freedom for the peoples of Africa, both in Africa and the diaspora. It has become to be known as the 1945 Manchester Conference for the Movement for Pan-Africanism. Among the leaders who attended that conference from the West Indies and the Americas were Dr. W.E. Du Bois, Marcus Garvey, Dr. Henry Sylvester Williams, Cyril Ara Lewis, James, George Padmore, and many others. And from Africa were the likes of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, from the Gold Coast, now Ghana, Dr. Hastings Banda, from British Protectorate of Nyasaland, now Malawi, Jomo Kenyatta from Kenya, Seseret Sekama from the British Protectorate of Bechuanaland, now Botswana, and many others. The third significant conference for the movement for Pan-Africanism was the All Africa's People's Conference held in 1957 to 1958 in Accra, Gold Coast, now Ghana, when the peoples from all Africa, that is from both independent political states and dependent territories in Africa, attended. At that conference, among the notable leaders were Sékou Touré of Guinea, Mobidou Keïta of Mali, Patrice Lumumba from Congo, now DRC, Mohamed Ben Bella from Algeria, Julius Nyerere from Tanganyika, Oliver Tambo, Robert Sobukwe from South Africa, Joan Nkomo from Southern Rhodesia, now Zimbabwe, among others. And from the West Indies and the Americas, among them were George Padmore, Malcolm X, etc., amongst many others. That conference set in motion the protest movements throughout Africa, demanding one man, one vote, as a result of which many colonies got political independence as from 1960 and thereafter. The fourth conference for the movement for Pan-Africanism was in May 1963 in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, when on May 23 they formed the Organization of African Unity, now AU, and thereafter declared May 25 as the Africa Unity Day or Africa Day that has been celebrated every year for the past 60 years today by all the peoples of Africa, in Africa, and the diaspora. At that conference, all the leaders of the peoples of Africa from North, East, West, Southern Africa, and from the diaspora were there. From Africa, among them were Emperor Haile Selassie, who hosted the conference, King Hassan of Morocco, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah of Ghana, Sékou Touré of Guinea, Julius Nyerere of Tanganyika, among many others and leaders from the diaspora. Given that crude and brief history of the movement of Pan-Africanism leading to the formation of OAU in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia on May 23. Hopefully you can appreciate why the people of Africa, both in Africa and the diaspora, celebrate the formation of OAU and 25th May as Africa Day. As the peoples of Africa and the diaspora have suffered for 7 years, if not more, under slavery. And for nearly 100 years, all the territories of Africa had been under European imperial colonial rule with cultural and religious imperialism. The formation of OAU was the birth of an organization to protect the interests of the peoples of Africa, both in Africa and the diaspora, and on the World Forum. Oh, this is very, very rich history, ladies and gentlemen. I do hope that you'll be able to come, and I do hope that you'll be able to come to our inboxes. I've just shared with you the email for the Tanyanazo Initiative and gmail.com, so that we share with you some of this rich history. There are actually 2 documents that are explaining to us the importance of Africa Day. So, as I had stated, he is an expert when it comes to culture and Africa. So he was trying to make the young people and all Africans to understand that, why do we celebrate Africa Day on the 25th? Where did it come from? In Shona, we say Zaka Bakubi. Where did it come from, right? So it's not just a matter of saying we're celebrating Africa Day. Africa Day, what does it mean, right? Where did it come from? Why do we have, what does it mean? So that's when all this history is coming into play. So please do send us an email on that, the Tanyanazo Initiative at gmail.com, so that we send you this beautiful literature, so that you can also be able to disseminate the same information to your countrymen and many other people within your networks. So at this moment in time, it seems like some of our presenters, they are not there. But one important thing to note, we have a member, she's a young lady, and she is also a singer. So she had requested that we play her songs today. So to just, appreciate the wonderful works that are being done by young Africans. We just want to, she's a member for our organization. She's been really trying hard to, shape her music industry, and she's really doing great. I believe she's doing the most. So she's a young lady, and I have songs. She could have gone live today, but unfortunately she could not. So Okay, so that was a powerful song from our member. Her name is Petronella Nduru, and we're just happy because she's our member and trying to make sure that the nation of Zimbabwe is informed about how good God is and how He provides. Without any further ado, ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of our Africa Day, and please do make sure that you contact us on that email so that you so that we can also share with you many other presentations. Unfortunately, some of the trainers, they were all not able to attend, but they'll definitely send through the presentations. So it's good for us to have an appreciation of all these African nations. Please also share with us your comments, your suggestions, your contributions on how you can make sure that our webinars are effective for you. So how do you do that? You do that through the email that I'm going to share, or you can do that through the WhatsApp number that you're going to share. So as I am posting the emails and the numbers, do you mind opening your cameras such that we take pictures? Robbie, it's picture time. Can we and please share with us your comments, suggestions? Oh no, there was one last presentation, right, Ruvimbo, for Zimbabwe. We didn't present Zimbabwe, did we? We didn't.
No, we didn't. It was supposed to be let me check.
Yes. Oh my God. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, we have one more presentation to go for Zimbabwe. Just a minute. I have the presentation. Do you mind presenting it, Ruvimbo?
I don't have
Let me
the
just-
what do you call this? The PowerPoint. It wasn't sent.
Okay,
to me.
let me send to you. I have it. I have it somewhere. I must have it somewhere. But in the meantime, as we are preparing for the Zimbabwe presentation, do you mind turning on your cameras? Let's turn on our cameras. Hey boy, everyone is tense. CP, War, Mazita, Madam Brinda, everyone is tense. No one wants to put on their cameras. Guys. Thank you, CP War. Ruby,
Yes, I'm
boy.
I'm on the road. That's why I'm not putting on my camera and the mic.
Oh, okay, that's fine. Oh, thank you. Madam Ruby, kindly confirm if you have received the PowerPoint presentation. I think it's now in your inbox. Oh, we can't. How can we forget?
As the host, how can we forget? That's not possible. I was actually anticipating that for national TV. Anyway, let me check.
Okay. On WhatsApp.
Loading at point.
Yes.
Okay, it is now downloaded.
I'm also coming.
Let me start sharing my screen because I now have the presentation.
It's all right. So we'll then do the videos after this.
Yeah.
Okay. And then
I think it's showing, right?
yes, it's showing.
In the absence of Nashe, I'm the one who's going to be presenting for our country, Zimbabwe, the proud host of the Tanyaranzo Initiative. So a pleasant afternoon to you, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to talk about our beautiful country named Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe is derived from Shona, delicate from Chikaranga, meaning Zimba, Zimbabwe. This is translated to the houses of stone or stone buildings. Today, this is symbolized by the Great Zimbabwe ruins near Masvingo, where the earliest Shona people were situated in. So Zimbabwe is a landlocked country in Southern Africa, lying between the latitudes of 15 and 23 south and longitude of 25 to 34 degrees east. It is bordered by South Africa to Botswana to Zambia and to Mozambique. So our Zimbabwean flag constitutes of 5 different colors, if I'm not mistaken. The flag comprises of red, black, green, yellow, and white. So the white triangle is host side, which is more or less surrounded by the red, yellow, green, and the inside there's the golden Zimbabwean flag with the golden bed into it. So the yellow color symbolizes the resources that we have. The red color symbolizes the bloodshed during the liberation struggle. The black color symbolizes our race, ethnicity, and heritage. The green color represents the nation's agriculture. So the yellow bird emblem symbolizes the Bunga bird. Oh, sorry. I'm hoping that the screen is also showing this font slightly small. Please confirm that you guys are seeing what I'm illustrating to you guys. Hello? Is it showing?
Yes, how is it now?
Can you increase it slightly little bit bigger so that everyone can actually see which color is which? Yeah, thank you. Okay, what else? So also the white color symbolizes peace. So as the red star with the yellow bird emblem. So the yellow bird symbolizes the Hungwe bird. That is the national bird of Zimbabwe. And we all know that Zimbabwe is an agri-based country. So it has the stripes of green on the top strip and the last strip. As you can see, that picture of the Zimbabwean flag on the corner of the African continent. Tanya, can you move? Yeah, okay. So we have our national anthem. So our national anthem, we can sing it in Shona, Ndebele, Tonga, English, and it more or less symbolizes our scenario of our achieving the first and second Timring, with the hope that the Lord Almighty will help us regain our independence. This is a little bit illustration from English to Shona translation of the national anthem. So it's a patriotic music composition which invokes the Zimbabwean history, the traditions, struggles of the Zimbabwean people, and it also officiates the national song of Zimbabwe, proudly lifting the flag high for the Zimbabwean land, which means Simudzai Mureza wedu weZimbabwe. And then the national anthem was introduced in March 1994 as a wide competition to replace Ishe Komborerai Africa, which was the distinct song of the whole continent, with the winning entry as a song by Professor Solomon Mutswairo and composed by Fred Changundenga. It has been translated in all three main languages of Zimbabwe. I think we can, I'm not so certain if all of us do understand Shona, as much as we come from different nationalities.
We need to sing it all.
Sorry? Am I audible? Can I move on to the next slide? Right. So the Shona part is saying Simudzai Mureza wedu weZimbabwe yakazvarwa nemoto wemuchimurenga neropa zhinji ramagamba. The first three lines are more or less illustrating that we are supposed to raise the Zimbabwean flag high in recognition of the fallen heroes and heroines during the liberation struggles, so that we know that we have lived for this and we have fought for our independence. Tidzivirire kumhando dzose, meaning from any form of enemy to the country. Laikomborerwa nyika yeZimbabwe, tarisai nyika yeZimbabwe shongedzwe namakomo nehuva zvinoyevedza mumvura. Sorry, Ataya, you're cutting off the presentation. I can't see it properly. Can you? Oh, okay. So the last three lines are explaining that we are supposed to have an abundance of vegetation and God should bless us with an abundance of rain so that we can have harvest for our nation. Then the last lines are asking for blessings from God, considering our ancestors who are from Zambezi to Limpopo. These are the main boundaries of Zimbabwe that are mostly common known. And the last statement saying "Ngaikomborerwe nyika yeZimbabwe," asking for the God Almighty blessings for our living nation. I think we can move to the next slide. So the brief history of independence of Zimbabwe. So Zimbabwean Independence Day was in the year of 1990. We were formerly known as Rhodesia, considering our British colonizers. And that day of 18 April 1990 marked the day that racial segregation ended after a protracted war of liberation that claimed many lives in the 1990s, one of our Zimbabwean colony. It was administered by the the British South African Company under the name of Rhodesia and the responsible government under the Southern Rhodesian administration. During the elections that were held on Independence Day, they were led by Robert Mugabe, the leader of Zimbabwe African National Union, and they won the majority, and Mugabe became the prime. So initially, the ceremony is used to attract a number of people gradually, as this has shown the promises that were made during the war for independence. But there's this disillusionment of context of declining economy, political turmoil caused by a blend of factors, mismanagement, corruption, imposition of sanctions. The day, however, still remains a holiday, but it's not as formally celebrated as it used to be decades ago. So both national and district level people are recommended to attend independent celebrations to commemorate the nation's history. So the official ceremony is followed by entertainment of music, different performances, and soccer. And these performances are usually done by the government arms, like the police, the soldiers, and the Air Force of Zimbabwe. Sometimes mostly held at the national sports ground, which is located close to Westgate, if I'm not mistaken.
Hello, Rubimbo. Hi, Rubimbo. Okay, on the national anthem, Rubim, it would have been nice if we had sang. Eh? Okay, so I think we've lost Rubimbo there, but I'll just continue with Zimbabwe. So Zimbabwe has very remarkable areas, which makes it a very spectacular. But before that, I really feel we should have sang because Ghana sang and Sierra Leone, they gave us, they sing for us. So let's sing. It's in the native language, it's in Shona, but I do believe that Madame Rovimbo explains what it means. So here's how it sounds. Simutai mureza wedu we Zimbabwe, nakazarwa Okay, so unfortunately the network was jealous and it booted me out. But nevertheless, thank you so much for this amazing session. We really had a lovely time. Thank you so much for being part of this conversation. We're going to share with you the recording of this. We're going to share with you the recording for the session. If you have any comments, anything that you'd want to communicate with us, please do not hesitate to communicate them with us. So at this moment in time, I would declare the session adjourned, and please do contact us for further information. Thank you so much, Madam Ajita, for staying. Thank you so much. So let me just share with you the email. This one, that's the email that you can send to us. Happy Africa Day, and thank you so much.